Water is they are there. But again, it was the way I wanted to frame the presentation. That is, what was of interest to you. And basically, what's unique about the swamp, well, I came up with 3 things that at least I know, but I assume maybe many of you do. There is actually a rattlesnake that lives in Cicero Swamp. Good, I got a couple of eyebrows out. Number 1. Number 2, there are 2 species, not just 1, 2 species of insectivorous plants. There's the pitcher plant, and then there's a northern dew plant, which is similar. There are a few people of my age group. Remember sending away to North Carolina for Venus flytraps?
Yeah.
Well, this is our version of Venus flytraps. And then the 3rd thing, which I think will surprise many people, there is no outlet from Cicero Swamp to Oneida Lake. It's basically self-contained. There are a couple of streams that run, one east, one west, but it does not connect any way into Oneida Lake. And the importance of that is history of the swamp. Oh, I'm sorry, it's about 5,000 acres. And I noticed the second thing on today's agenda was CEQA, and this is a type 2 action. Well, the application of insecticides to over 1,500 contiguous acres is a type 1 action under CEQA. Cicero Swamp is 5,000 acres that is owned by the state. And in terms of when you do an aerial application, you do 12,000 acres. So if you're thinking of just doing mosquito control, you're faced with State Environmental Quality Review Act, without question. Oh, sorry. Let's see if I can back that up. So that takes the history of the swamp. Again, the Army Corps of Engineers has nothing to do with Cicero Swamp since it doesn't touch the lake. And if you don't find those 3 things unique enough to preserve the swamp, then there's nothing else I'm going to say tonight that's going to sway you otherwise. Bats versus mosquitoes. A generalized myth that bats control mosquitoes. They do not. Yes, they will eat mosquitoes, but mosquitoes, all the studies that have been done, mosquitoes comprise something around 1% or less than 1% of a bat's diet. Remember, a bat is working on opportunistic, it is working on sonar, and so size matters. The bigger the insect, the easier it is for it to see. It expends a tremendous amount of energy to collect its food, and it requires to feed a lactating female, which may weigh, say, 8 grams, has to eat half its body weight in one night. A mosquito weighs about 15 micrograms. So not going to get much energy, much food, much supply out of that versus a moth. And so mosquitoes are really not a major component of a bat's diet. Everybody knows where the best place to view the bats is during the daytime, Onondaga County.
No.
The Fayetteville Town Center. You walk between Target and the PNC. You look up under the portico. And beginning next month or so, the bats will be up in there. They'll be there during the daytime. That's where they hide. And you know, everyone says, well, put up a bat house. Well, there's a bat house there. But the bats aren't in the bat house. They're squeezed in between the corner and the bricks and everything. And also, in terms of bats, Jessica can confirm this because she works for the health department too. If you have a bat encounter, which is basically if you walk into a room and you find a bat flying around and you open the door and the bat flies out, that's a bat encounter. That requires prophylactic rabies treatment, which runs $2,000 to $3,000 for the 3 to 4 series, depending on how close the encounter was. So that's enough fun. And again, when everybody looks at this picture, I'm sure everybody recognizes it. This is 481 here. This is the major portion of the swamp across here. These are the 3 retention ponds right off of 481, and everybody looks at those and says, look at the mosquito breeding area. No, mosquitoes don't breed in open water. That's where the bats will feed. That's where they can fly freely and maneuver, and of course down here where the herring rookery. But mosquitoes aren't found. Mosquitoes will come out through there, but they don't feed on there to any great extent. And again, this is what the interior of Cicero Swamp looks like, or the wooded area. And you can imagine a bat using sonar. Remember, a bat flies blind, basically using sonar to locate echolocation, and trying to pick up a mosquito in between the trees. Wouldn't make it. So bats and mosquitoes, no. All right, so we take care of that one. All right, how many species of mosquitoes are there in Cicero Swamp? I really don't know. I'm not a trained entomologist. I am an infectious disease epidemiologist with a subspecialty in medical entomology. So, and depending on whether you're lumpers or splitters, in terms of trying to speciate mosquitoes out, there's anywhere from 10 to 14 different species out there. I know the range. There is, you remember I mentioned the pitcher plant, an insectivorous plant. Well, there's actually a mosquito that breeds in pitcher plants. A very delicate little species called Wyomia smithii, lays its eggs in the water or on the margins of the leaf. The eggs get flooded, the larvae develop in there. And out come the adults. And the very unique thing about the adults is most people know that mosquitoes feed on blood. Well, the adults of that species do not feed on blood. They never take blood. They feed on the sugar and the nectar in the blueberries, because one thing you find pitcher plants associated with are blueberries. However, also out in there is a species Culiseta melanura. And I have spent most of my professional career, literally almost all of my professional career, studying that mosquito and the disease it transmits. And I'll get to that. And the big issue and the big problem is pest, annoyance, nuisance versus danger, threat to the public health. Sorry. The Onondaga County Health Department and the New York State Department of Health do not get involved in controlling mosquitoes that are a pest, annoyance, or nuisance. We do not do it. We are only concerned if mosquitoes represent a threat to the public health, which means that is involved in disease transmission. So the comments earlier this time, all the mosquitoes are in my backyard. Sorry, I have some in my backyard too. I was out this afternoon trying to collect ticks, and I was being annoyed by the mosquitoes. It's difficult. If I'm collecting mosquitoes, it's okay, but when I'm collecting ticks, the mosquitoes are annoying. And if you're wondering, if it starts raining, the key is if it keeps raining, we'll be okay, because everything will flood out. But if it stops raining and warms up, you can expect we're going to have a couple of good crops of very good mosquitoes that are going to tear your head off. No way around it. Who monitoring, who, what, why, etc. Basically, Cicero Swamp and much of Onondaga County is monitored by the Onondaga County Health Department. And the basic means of doing that is called a miniature light trap. It used to be called the CDC light trap. Been modified, and a firm in Florida actually put on a photosensor, so the light doesn't come on, the fan doesn't come on until it gets dark enough, which is good because you want to extend out. The way these things work, or what makes these light traps work, is what's contained in the blue container. Dry ice. And dry ice is carbon dioxide. And all animals give off carbon dioxide. And one of the attractants for mosquitoes, a post-sinking female mosquito, only females feed on blood, males never feed on blood, is carbon dioxide. They will follow the variable concentration of CO2. They also attracted to colors, scent, body temperature, etc. But the only thing we can monitor, or mimic in the field, is CO2. And that's done with the dry ice. And there's a little hole in the bottom container for the dry ice to come out, to sublimate out as a gas.